A critique of Syracuse University's 1991 FC promotional video.
I am not autistic on the typewriter.
Welcome to another video critique of facilitated communication. The clips in this video are from a 1991 Syracuse University promotional video and contain examples of facilitator behaviors that raise questions about authorship in FC. Elements of Facilitated Communication, narrated by FC founder Douglas Biklen of Syracuse University.
The elements of facilitated communication include physical support, progressing from initial training to practice and finally to fluency, maintaining focus, emotional support, and fading physical support.
Note, there are no formal procedures for fading physical support. Facilitators can and do influence letter selection, whether they are holding onto their client's wrist, elbow, shoulder, or other body part, or, as in variants of FC developed after this video was produced, holding onto the letterboard itself while the individual being subjected to FC extends a finger toward it. Facilitators are often unaware of the extent to which they control letter selection. Even after 20 or 30 years of FC training, many individuals still require the presence of a facilitator to select letters on a keyboard. How is that independent communication? Role of facilitators.
The method requires the facilitator to remind the person typing or pointing to keep his or her eyes on the target, to find a position where pointing is relatively easy, to maintain isolation of the index finger, and to reduce extraneous actions such as screeching, slapping of objects, hand flicking, and pushing the typing device away.
Question. Couldn't screeching, slapping of objects, and pushing the device away be nonverbal indicators that the individual does not want to be facilitated?
If the person uses echoed or repetitive speech, the facilitator asks the person to type what he or she wants to say, whether or not the speech may be appropriate for the situation.
Select examples from the promotional video. 3-year-old Dougie. The filmmaker blocked visual access to the facilitator, so it is not possible to determine how much of Dougie's movements are independent and how much of it is facilitator controlled. As long as Dougie is on the facilitator's lap, he will likely be influenced by her movements.
This 3-year-old is doing a fill-in-the-blanks exercise. He is a good example of a young child who demonstrates excellent literacy skills. Before using facilitated communication, he had no effective means of letting us know what he wanted, what he was thinking, or what he was feeling. The teacher supports him under his arm. He types in one-word answers. At the end of the exercise, after he has typed in the word wolf, he independently cues up the computer to add another word. He lets the teacher know that her wolf is really goofy, but he spells it phonetically, G-O-F-Y.
This short clip raises some questions. Does Dougie have the language skills to understand the facilitator's instructions? Can he identify letters independently? Does he understand how to combine letters to make words? If he can look at the screen and point to the keyboard independently, then why does he need to be touched by a facilitator? Are his interactions with the keyboard deliberate or accidental? Facilitators are taught not to test academic or language skills of their clients. So there is no objective way to determine Dougie's understanding and use of literacy skills based solely on facilitator claims.
The facilitator avoids testing for competence. The facilitator attempts not to test the person, but merely to provide support for typing or pointing, giving encouragement in a natural manner.
Daniel.
Because of poor muscle tone, some students have an easier time typing while standing up. And of course, the teacher-student relationship is a key to success. This teacher showers encouragement on her student. She relates to him as the intelligent person that he is.
Claims about authorship. Proponents believe the following indicators prove authorship. Even though there is no way to determine how much the client or the facilitator individually contributes to letter selection without reliably controlled testing.
Students make typographical errors that are unique to them. Many give their own individual phonetic spellings. Often, the students will communicate their thoughts in unusual ways. For example, the student who says, "I want to be not walking." Others type unusual content, such as swearing at the teacher. Students' unique personalities come through in their typing, and students say things not known to the facilitator. Students require different levels of physical support and move their fingers, hands, and arms in different patterns from each other.
When Syracuse University produced this film in 1991, there was no reliably controlled evidence to support their claims of independent communication. But there were researchers in Australia who had demonstrated through blind message passing tests that the facilitators and not their clients were authoring FC-generated messages. 8 years before Douglas Biklen brought FC to the United States. Red flags. Here is a list of concerns identified by researchers who, despite proponent wishes, conducted testing into FC. A high degree of physical intervention by facilitators even when their clients had sufficient motor skills to select letters independently. Unusually sophisticated vocabulary and use of complex abstract language structures beyond the age and experiences of the individuals being facilitated. The fact that facilitation couldn't be taught to or used by everyone who wished to use it, including family members. Facilitator reports that their own thoughts insinuated themselves into the FC-generated messages. Dependence on facilitators even after 2 years of support, full independence does not seem achievable. The need for a strong belief in the power of the technique to make it work. Unwillingness of facilitators to have their contribution assessed independently. Summary. Syracuse University's 1991 FC promotional video claimed communication independence for non-speaking individuals with autism and other developmental disabilities. However, even within their own video, facilitators exhibited behaviors that raised questions about authorship and seemed to support, not refute, the emerging research that pointed toward facilitator control over letter selection. The science. To date, there's no scientifically rigorous evidence to prove facilitated communication, spelling to communicate, rapid prompting method, or any of their variants produce independent communication. Controlled studies show that facilitators, not their clients, are producing the typed messages. Citing concerns about prompt dependency, facilitator cueing, lack of scientific evidence, and other potential harms, many organizations oppose the use of facilitator-reliant techniques. These include, but are not limited to, the American Speech-Language Hearing Association, American Association on Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities, American Psychological Association, Association for Behavior Analysis, Association for Science in Autism Treatment. FC has many names, including but not limited to: supported typing, informative pointing, spelling to communicate, rapid prompting method, speller's method. This educational video is intended to draw attention to the problem of facilitator cueing and facilitator-reliant techniques, and is not a criticism of the individuals being subjected to FC use. For more information about FC, please visit facilitatedcommunication.org. Links to the information contained in this video are provided in the description box below. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment to help grow this project. Thank you for watching to the end. FC is not science.